Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, I am super excited you're joining me today because we're going to unpack a brilliant classic tale that completely flips the script on what it actually means to be talented. I mean, we've all been told at some point that our quirks or our weird habits are basically useless, right? Well, today we are breaking down the story of three young men whose bizarre, seemingly useless traits become literal lifesavers. We're going to look at the mechanics of this story, how their unique abilities stack up, and what we can actually learn from their wild adventure. So let's dive right in with this bold, absolutely crazy declaration from our protagonist, Dina. Picture this. Dina's a 20-year-old guy still living at home with his parents. His dad is a barber, and the whole expectation is that Dina is just going to wake up early, learn the family trade, and cut hair. But Dina, he outright refuses to do ordinary work. Instead of getting up and, being productive, he just lies in bed dreaming of royal ambitions. He boldly claims he's going to go straight to the king and marry the princess. Section 1. Leaving the village behind. The journey begins. Now, this whole journey is actually sparked by a pretty harsh scolding from his mother. She calls him incredibly lazy. She literally calls him an enemy of the grain, meaning he eats their hard-earned food but does zero work to earn it. Ouch. But this acts as the perfect inciting incident. Dina feels insulted, sure, but rather than backing down, it pushes him to just leave his village behind. He vows not to return until his grand, seemingly impossible dream is fulfilled. But here's the thing. Dina isn't just lazy. He actually has a legitimate, hidden superpower. He has super hearing. He can hear things from incredibly far away. And because of this extraordinary ability, he fiercely believes he's destined for a much greater purpose than just snipping hair in his small village. It's this rock-solid confidence in his unique ability that fuels his entire journey. Section 2. Meeting two magical friends. The outcasts assemble. As Dina hits the road, he quickly realizes he isn't the only one misunderstood by his family. He ends up meeting two other outcasts who were also completely rejected and kicked out of their homes for their strange, extreme habits. Together they form this rather unconventional fellowship. We already know Dina has his super hearing, but then we meet Kanu. Kanu's dad actually kicked him out because the guy has a bottomless stomach. I mean, he eats like an elephant and leaves literally no food for anyone else in the house. And finally, there's Banu. Banu has perfect sleep sensitivity. He complains that if a single leaf falls from a tree outside, the ground shakes and wakes him up. Even an ant or a mosquito just walking past is enough to ruin his sleep. It's hilarious when you think about the contrast here between Kanu's endless hunger and Banu's absolute inability to sleep through even the most minor disturbances. Section 3. The King's Dangerous Challenge. High stakes at the palace. Dina realizes that these quirks are actually spectacular talents. He convinces his new friends to march straight into the royal palace with him. And when they arrive, they do not hold back. They boldly present themselves to the king and make some towering demands. Endless food and a permanent place in the palace for Kano, the perfect sleeping conditions for Banu, and, the most audacious one of all, the princess's hand in marriage for Dina. Naturally, the king is completely taken aback. He tells Dina, "My daughter is a royal princess. I can't just hand her over to some stranger making wild claims." But Dina pushes back, insisting their skills will astound him. So the king agrees to give them a chance to prove their worth, but it comes with a massive, deadly catch. So the ultimate question is, will the friends win the princess or lose their heads? The king places a literal life-or-death wager on them. If these three friends can successfully demonstrate their so-called skills to the king's satisfaction, they get exactly what they asked for. We're talking lifelong luxury, unlimited food, perfect sleep, and that royal marriage. But if they fail or displease the king, immediate execution by having their heads chopped off. The stakes could literally not be any higher. Section 4. Passing the three tests. Proving their worth. This all unfolds rapidly over a single high-stakes day. In the afternoon, Kanu is up first with the food. By evening, Banu's sleep is tested. And as night falls, the true climax arrives when Dina's skills are put to the ultimate test. It's a perfectly structured trial. First up is Kanu. The king orders his staff to feed him. Plate after plate, dish after dish is brought out. The king and Dina just stand there watching as Kanu effortlessly devours absolutely everything in sight. He eats so much and so continuously that eventually the royal cook just has to come out and formally surrender, announcing that there is literally not a single scrap of food left. The royal kitchen is completely empty. Kanu passes the first test with flying colors. Next, it's Banu's turn in the evening. The king has his servants prepare an incredibly plush bed, piling up seven thick mattresses. The king thinks this is a flawless setup, but Banu tosses and turns and complains he can't sleep because something is poking him. When they investigate, they find that hidden between the sixth and seventh mattress layer is a single strand of hair. Banu's hypersensitivity actually allowed him to feel it through all that bedding. Test 2, passed. Now, the tone completely shifts. It's Dina's turn. And the king is getting impatient, saying these party tricks don't matter if Dina can't offer something truly useful. But then, Dina tunes into his super hearing. He picks up a hushed, deadly conversation far away in the horse stables. He uncovers a massive conspiracy. The king's own minister and commander are plotting to assassinate the king in his bedroom that very night. I love how structured this is. Dina doesn't just listen and panic, he acts instantly. He lays out this brilliant three-step trap to save the monarch. First, he immediately warns the skeptical king. Second, he insists they stay in the room and place dummies under the king's bedsheets to make it look like the king is sleeping. Third, they hide in the shadows and wait to catch the traitors red-handed. Section 5. The final royal reward. A kingdom saved. True to Dina's word, in the dead of night, the doors to the royal bedroom slowly creak open. The treacherous minister and commander sneak in, draw their swords, and violently attack the lump under the bedsheets. Instantly, Dina and the king spring the trap, and the traitors are captured on the spot. The king is completely stunned. He realizes that if he hadn't listened to Dina, he would have been brutally murdered. Overcome with gratitude and finally seeing Dina's immense value, the king happily declares Dina a worthy son-in-law and the rightful heir to the throne. The marriage to the princess is granted, Kanu gets his endless food, Banu gets his perfect sleep, and the whole kingdom erupts into a massive, joyful celebration. So, what should you really take away from all this? Society might judge our quirks as useless or annoying, just like Dina's mother did, or Kanu's and Banu's fathers. But the reality is that with the right friends, the right environment, and the right timing, the things that make you weird can actually be your greatest assets. They aren't flaws. They are highly specialized tools just waiting for the right problem to solve. Which brings us to the end of our story and leaves me with a question for you to ponder. Think about those strange habits or specific quirks you have that others might not understand. What is your hidden superpower? And if put in the right situation, how could it save the day? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep looking for the magic in the everyday.